What? God, I shouldn't have said that. No, wait. What do you mean you're the king's daughter? That you're Delphine? I mean exactly what I said. You weren't supposed to know. I sort of lost my composure in trying to explain to you why this isn't working without giving you that piece of information. But they all think you're dead. Gosh, I don't even know whether to just be confused or what to think. I guess if nothing else, now you know why I'm so knowledgeable on the king. Why didn't you want me to know that you're Delphine? Well, to be completely honest, I was starting to not completely mind our agreement today, as much as I had in the beginning. You're not the worst person to be around despite you being a princess. But, as I'm sure you know now, I've been hiding as well for 7 years. Traveling around, not anywhere special, but, just having to be careful where I planted any roots, who I trusted, much like you. And the better acquainted we become the past 2 days, the more I realized if we both get caught, not only is your life on the line, but so is mine, even though in a different way. The guards will take me back with you, and I'll be punished for more than just aiding you. If I go back there again, let's just say it's over for me. So, you left when you were only 15? Yes. My mother died a week after I was born. Just after my birth, she came down with a most deadly virus, which luckily wasn't contagious, but it's incurable. My father's physician tried everything, but to no avail. And my father, being only the great king he thinks himself to be, was very displeased to be left with only a daughter to raise. God, he never liked me. And he made it very clear my whole upbringing. Since my mother was dead, he had nothing to hide in front of my face. He didn't have to pretend to like me. And as all kings do, he wanted a son, an heir, someone who could actually legally claim the throne. He merely pretended I was the apple of his putrid eye in front of the kingdom's people, the neighboring kingdoms, and any distinguished guests we had arrive for visits. But behind closed doors, I had little freedom, and I was treated better than my servants, than by my own father. I barely even got to spend any time outside. He always wanted me in the castle where he could keep his eye on me. I felt trapped, and so when I was 15, I decided to finally run away, leave this hideous lifestyle behind me in search of something better. It wasn't easy. Let's just say I had a little help. But, of course, to no surprise, the king, he sent out some guards, but I knew better. They weren't really looking for me. They were merely patrolling around, acting the part, to please the townspeople into thinking the king actually felt some sort of loss. I've been dead to him since the moment I was born. You're actually being calmer about this than I would have expected. Well, I'm just processing, I guess. You really had me fooled. I guess I've never seen the princess, so how could I have known that it was you? But I did find your knowledge of the kingdom to be curious. I usually try to keep low about my knowledge as not to raise questions by people. A supposed average commoner that I'm trying to pose as and be is not somebody that's supposed to possess intimate knowledge of the kingdom. If you've been the princess of the king this whole time, why did you agree to an arrangement with me? Wouldn't you have thought of the concerns you have now before this moment? Trust me, I did. You remember how hesitant I was. But when I first met you, I wasn't declared dead by the king himself. Being caught while you're missing is one thing. Being caught while you're supposed to be dead is another. If I'm caught, it will expose the king as a liar, having faked my death without any true proof of a body. Hence, there will be high commotion from the people, and they'll begin to question his entire trustworthiness. And, as I'm sure you can imagine, someone would have to be to blame for the backlash and tainting of the king's name. And who better to punish than his own daughter for exposing him? God. Part of why I even agreed to help you in the first place was actually because I understood what you were facing. Although I guess it was mostly in the beginning of my journey. But I know what you're going through. Even though you introduced yourself poorly and you thought I was a frickin' man, I don't wish a life of insecurity upon anyone. But what if this gives us more incentive to help each other? Aren't our chances better in numbers than splitting off alone? You saw me being chased through the woods. I'm not so great on my own. And quite frankly, I feel as though I've only gotten this far on sheer luck and good fortune here and there. You're far more cunning than I don't want to do this by myself anymore. I don't want to be doing this forever. You're a lot more capable than you think. You have more wits than you give yourself credit for. I suppose my life is as good as gone whether they catch me alone or not. I may be an extroverted person in many ways, but I'm not so good at companionship or friends or whatever this is. I don't like opening up to people too much because I grew up unable to even trust the one parent that I had. And I'm not good at relying on anyone besides myself. You're honestly lucky I even told you this much. I could have walked away and just left you here. So why didn't you? If you don't like getting too close to people, staying would only mean more time with me. Yeah, well, we made an agreement. I tried to leave, but I'm also stubborn and I don't like backing down, okay? Is it really all it is? What else is there? Nothing. Forget having said anything. We should get back to the party before she notices we're gone. Wait, you really were a good dancer. I just thought you should know. Does that mean that you would dance with me again sometime? Don't hold your breath. And where have you two been? Don't tell me you snuck off to some corner to dance by yourselves now, did you? No, she knows. Oh. Wait, how did this even happen? You're always so careful not to tell anyone. Wait, she already knows? How? We've known each other for a long time, as I told you. I can't elaborate here, but I can explain more to you later, or tomorrow, when there aren't so many people around. And as for what I said, I can assure you the information did not come out exactly by choice. For once, I guess I panicked, and the information just kind of slipped out. But we were alone, so nobody saw us or heard anything. I still have some wits about me. I fear now we have much to discuss. But it is getting rather late, so I suggest we pick this up early tomorrow morning, when no one is around. Why don't you two go get some rest, and I'll come wake you up in the morning, so we can talk about all of this. It'll be better to talk with fresh heads that aren't clouded by late hours and spinning dances. Don't think I didn't see you. Well, let's just do that, and we're gonna talk tomorrow, and not about that. I suppose it's probably for the best. Which room was it again that you gave us? Oh, no worries. It's the first door on the hall just down there. I'll get you the key for the inside, and I've left some clean clothes you can wear. A single room? Why does this feel so... what's the word? Cliché. Yeah, that's the one. I assume all of the double rooms have been filled up by the groups of drunk friends that were here dancing on the far side. She did say she was giving us the room with the best locks, so... I guess that's just how it works. Well, here, since you gave me your room at your house yesterday, you should take the bed this time. A blanket and a pillow will be fine for me. Just take the bed, princess. I've had access to a bed a lot longer than you. Plus, if I'm on the floor, I'll be able to better sense if anyone walks by or tries the door. Okay. Thank you. What, not gonna fight me on this one? No. I feel like things are gonna change now, and honestly, one more night in the bed doesn't sound so bad. I'm gonna get changed. Do you want the wall after me? The privacy wall? No, it's fine. I'll just get changed really quick out here while you're behind there. Okay. Delta? Yeah, I really did think you looked beautiful. In the dress. I just thought you should know. Are you comfortable? Yeah. This bed is actually really comfortable. Better than mine. I'm honestly not sure. Good night, princess. Delta? Yeah. It was nice dancing with you. Well, good night. Rio? Yeah, you should keep the necklace. It looks pretty on you. Good night. Night. And you're absolutely certain these darts will work in knocking someone out? Yes, of course. They're laced with this best sleeping agent I have. And should they fail? They won't. I guarantee it. I promise. I should hope so for your sake. It would be a shame if the king were to find out about such a well-established apothecary selling illegal herbs under the table. How did you even see those? I keep them behind the counter. Are you blackmailing me? Blackmail implies a choice. The choice that I won't rat you out if you succeed. I've promised no such thing. But you can't. I gave you what you wanted, and it will work. I'm a bounty hunter. Do you really think you're in some kind of position to tell me how it is? No, of course not. Apologies. Then if you want even the slightest chance of saving your pathetic head, you better pray these work quick like snakes. Rise and shine, girls. I've got some breakfast for you out here on the counter, and you don't want it to get cold. What time is it? It feels so early. By the looks of the sun, I'd say around 6 o'clock. I thought you'd be used to getting up early. Well, I am. I've gotten up at all sorts of hours of the day, but that doesn't mean I like it. Fair enough. I'll meet you out there. Is Rio not coming? Her food will get cold. No, she is. She's just kind of groggy, so it'll take her a minute. I see. Oh, I meant to put some, where is it? Molly? It's been a long time since you called me that. I suppose it has. I just... Speak, child. You know you can tell me anything. Do you think I'll ever be more than a princess? Sometimes I honestly feel as though I can't escape it. Like it looms around me like a shadow I never asked for. Well, you know I've always thought of you as more than a princess. Even back then. Would this happen to do anything with your little friend? Now you're just being ridiculous. Why should I care what she thinks of me? Surely you knew she wasn't going to rat you out. So what are you so afraid of anyways if she knows? Could it be... Good morning. I'm sorry it took a minute. I'm not quite awake yet. Thank you for the bed last night and for breakfast. You're too kind to me. Nonsense. We underdogs have to stick together now, don't we? Despite what your first impressions of me might have been, I just might surprise you. Oh, I promise I never thought anything badly of you. Of course not, dear. You're far too nice for that. Well, I suppose, since you know about her, I might as well tell you about myself. I'm sure you've been curious how I know Delta so well and for so long. Am I right? I suppose I have been a little curious, but I don't wish to impose on your personal life. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to say anything. I never dragged you into this. It's your choice. Oh gosh, Delta, you make it sound like I'm hiding some sort of lava-hot secret. You know I'm not that interesting. I'm nearly 50, for goodness sake. No, I want you to know. I feel as it may also help you to understand Delta. I truly don't know what it is about you, but I trust you. As a young woman, I used to work part-time at an inn not far from where I grew up in the kingdom's center. When I was around the age of 30, I managed to gain work inside of the palace as a lowly servant in the kitchen. As the years went on, the king actually took a grand liking to my cooking, and I was lucky enough to be promoted head chef of the palace's kitchen. Then, by the age of 39, I was assigned maid to the Queen of the Kingdom, in charge of all her meals and taste testing. She had just been wed to the king only the day before I was reassigned, and I being well respected by the king, that is why he personally reassigned me to her. He trusted me. After about a year of marriage, the king and queen began trying to conceive a child, an heir for the kingdom, as I'm sure you can imagine. And the king, not long after, did become pregnant. However, the pregnancy took quite a toll on the queen's health, and she took on a rather deadly virus, and luckily it was not contagious, but there was no cure. So, only a week after the birth of Delta, she passed away to said illness, and left the king not long after with only a daughter to raise, whom he would never allow to claim the throne. The king, in a fit of anger and distress over the loss of his wife, grew much colder, and colder than I'd ever seen him. He was deeply angered to not have a son to continue his legacy. Immediately after her death, the king appointed me the main servant to his daughter, Delta, and essentially I was given the task of raising her, because he had no interest of raising her himself. That became very clear very quickly. He wanted nothing to do with her and had very limited interactions with her, unless it was necessary. From birth to the age of 15, Delta was raised primarily under my care and the aid of a few other servant girls here and there. Though it was not my place to proclaim such things, I truly raised her as my own. If the king wasn't going to raise his own daughter, I sure as hell wasn't going to simply leave her on her own. He really wanted her watched, babysat, so to speak, but that was not good enough for me. A woman deserves an education, to learn to cook for herself, to defend herself. I may have been but a servant, but the king did not know how cunning I could be. Thus, I would sneak books from the palace library, sneak her into the kitchen, sneak her into the courtyards. I taught her to read, write, dance, cook, defend herself as best I could teach her. I only count myself lucky enough to have been raised by such a kind and educated father by myself. And it was wonderful what I had before it was taken away from me. I didn't want her to have nothing. Oh, golly, do eat up. I've been watching you, you've been watching me, and your food is going to spoil. No, my lady. I'm but in awe of your strength and courage to raise Delta from birth and teach her so much, to love her as your own child, when you didn't even have to. Your heart could be nothing short of the finest gold. Oh, please. You need not be so fancy with me, and just call me Molly. I am not a fair lady and do not deserve such a title. I only did what was right, even when it got me hell in the end. But you should not downplay yourself so. You have shaped this young girl far more than you realize, and I can tell she loves and respects you to the highest degree because of it. Don't think I don't appreciate your sentiments, my dear. But it is not up for me to decide my place in society. Society decides it for us, whether we want it or not. I was but a servant, and now I work here. My life will never be more than this. But that is all right. It's honest work, and I am proud of what I have done. I'm especially proud of you, and the woman that you are. May I ask you something personal? Yes, of course. We hold no secrets here now. How did you end up here? If you were a servant to the king, I assume you simply couldn't just leave. Yes. I suppose that is a fair question to ponder. But I must warn you, the answer is not one of a happy tale. I think it better if Delta tell you this part, as it has much to do with her as it does with me. All right. I suppose you are right about that. When I was 15, I had come to grasp so much of what was my life in the kingdom. As I told you last night, I had little freedom, and the things I know now didn't come from my father, as he'd never teach a lowly daughter who couldn't even take place upon the throne, who had no right in his eyes. It was hard holding on for so long, having to do as I was told. Surely I had as many moments of freedom as I could, but without anything else, without really truly being free, I had to be very careful around the king. The older I got, the more I wanted out. I didn't want to be a stupid princess. No offense to you. I didn't want to be trapped in a life, in a world where I'd never have any say in what I became. I'd probably have been married off to some wealthy prince by the age of 20, who probably didn't even know how to properly court a lady. I'd only be going from his continued confinement to the confinement of marriage to a man I didn't even want. I had dreams, I had aspirations, I wanted I wanted love, and I was never going to get that there. So, one night when I was 15, I finally decided to devise my plan, to devise a way out, to plan my escape. For a few weeks, I watched every guard and maid closely, when they changed shifts, when their hours were patrolling, when they ate, when they took breaks, how many guards there were, who they were, anything I thought that I was going to need to know to get past them and even have a chance at escaping. Unfortunately for me, however, Molly caught onto my thoughts one night, as she came in unexpectedly when I was making notes. I'd been secretly keeping a notebook under a loose floorboard under the bed, which nobody knew about because nobody ever moved the bed from its place. It was loose enough that I could slip the book in and out of it, but not so loose as that it would be suspicious when anybody was dusting or mopping under the bed. Molly came in one night to surprise me with a sweet snack before bed, but she ended up catching me and my notes and stealing the book to read it when I tried to concede it. Once she learned of my plan, she told me she wouldn't let me do it alone, that it was too risky, that I would have to need a lookout to ensure that I wasn't caught leaving the castle. I fought you on that so hard, but you wouldn't listen. I didn't want her jeopardizing her own safety in life just for my escape. It wasn't worth it, I didn't think, and well, she just wouldn't listen, and she knew how miserable my life was 80% of the time. And she knew that if I escaped, that maybe I could make something of myself. She understood what I wanted. So, a few weeks after we had seemingly perfected my escape route, we put it into place. I wore a cloak as to hide my face, and she distracted the guards outside my bedroom door by pretending she'd seen a thief inside the walls. And while they were distracted, I made my way to the eastern courtyard, carefully, as there was ivy vines along those walls that I could climb. Usually there was many guards, so that was not particularly easy, so I had to be very careful where I decided to climb the wall. Once the guards left from around my bedroom to search for the thief, she followed me into the courtyard. I'd started climbing the walls away from the patrolling guards, but unfortunately one of them spotted me, and then they spotted her. She told me to keep climbing as the guards restrained her, preventing her from leaving. I didn't want to leave her there, but I knew I'd never get out if I didn't, and she mouthed for me to keep going. She didn't want me to stop because she knew it too. So I mouthed back to her a promise that I would return and free her in debt for her sacrificing herself for my escape. I couldn't leave her there. You're my mother. All right. I never begged you for a sappy one. But it's true. You kept your promise to me. God love you. Once the king got word that I'd helped his daughter escape, it was my head that was to be taken in 3 days, just after. But as cunning as ever, even at the age of 15, Delta raced out a plan and used all of the jewelry she'd taken from her china box in the palace to bribe a guard into releasing me before the day of my trial. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, how could you possibly bribe a palace guard with mere jewelry that has no value in itself and can't buy you anything in itself? There was actually a quite simple answer for this. There was always one particular guard whom, despite his nobility and good intentions in his position, who had a streak of immense greed that ran through his body. He never knew Delta saw him, but sometimes he would hide in the kitchen pantry and steal some of our imported goods to sell on the market for coin. So, she waited until he was posted as guard of my cell, and since she had spent so much time prior studying all of the guards and their rotations, when they worked, where they worked, all of that kind of stuff, it wasn't hard to figure out when he would be posted as a guard to the prison cells. So, she spent much time working and devising how she would approach him without him immediately causing a scene and alerting other guards. I'm just fortunate that he really did take such bribery. Despite his greed, I You can never be too sure. Especially of palace guards. It feels like so long ago. I mean, I suppose it has been. Well, now you know that she saved me from my doomed life in the palace, sacrificing herself, and I saved her from her death for helping me, because you didn't commit a crime. You freed me. You helped me escape, and you don't ever deserve to die for that. I hope this isn't too much information for you, from both of us. No, it's okay. It's a lot, but I'm really grateful to both of you for sharing such personal stories with me. I know it isn't easy to reshare the past, particularly bad memories. You were such a brave princess. I'm sorry. It's fine. Why don't I leave you two to discuss a bit more and finish your breakfast, and I'll be in the back sorting my new vegetables if you need me. You probably think differently of me now. How do you mean? Well, nearly everyone who's ever known me as Princess Delphine has only ever seen me as a princess. They never see me for who I am. And now that you know who I really am, I'm sure that's all that you think of me now. All that you think. Is that really what you think? It's all I really know. Letting people in has rarely worked out for me. That's another part of why I didn't want you to know. I didn't want you to see me differently. I'm running because the world hates me for who I am. You're running because you hate who you are. Because you wanted more. And you deserve it. You being a princess doesn't make you any less of a person, and anyone who thinks so doesn't really know who they're looking at. You're incredible. Alright. No need to get sappy about it, jeez. Alright, we've got a problem. That stupid guard is coming back, and we need to hide you now. Come on, let's just put you in the closet. I've come to do a last check-in here for the girl. Have you heard any new information or seen her since we last spoke? No, I assure you there have been 0 sightings and no word has been spread. I'm afraid she's not here. I'm sorry I can't be of more help. Alright, yeah. And you're certain you're not lying or hiding anything? Yes, I promise you with my own life, she's not here. Good. Good. Yeah, good. We'll be leaving the area then. Silly man. You two can come out now. Sorry. I thought the guard was gonna open the door. It's fine. Let's just, get out of here. It's kind of stuffy. Yeah. Right. Pray tell, why do you insult my eyes with your presence? Excuse you? We are guards of the king. You show us respect. Like the respect you're showing the king by being hungover? We're not hungover. We are as alert as a deer to a toy crunch. Or however the saying goes. If you're so alert, then how come you don't have the child in custody yet? Who are you to question our orders? We've almost got her. Who are you to even speak to us like this? Pity you think so lowly is my presence. I only thought you may wish for some assistance. But if the great high and mighty guards of the king say they've almost got it made, then who am I to stop you? Wait, if you know something, you're under orders to reveal your information to us. Information? No. But a guaranteed means of capturing her once you find her. Yes. How do you mean? Oh, come now. Being such distinguished guards of the palace, surely you hadn't disregarded the possibilities of darting the insufferable child. Darting her? The king wants her alive! Are you mad? With the sleeping agent, you absolute morons. Sleeping princesses can't run away. Now, can they? Wait, that's actually a brilliant idea. How do you go about it? Well, it's quite simple, really. If you'd like a demonstration. Yes, teach us your ways. We need to be successful with the king. We can't fail again. As you wish. Stand back about 3 paces, would you? You can't be too close to the girl if you wish to successfully dart her. You don't want to be spotted now, do you? Right, of course. Hey, wait, why did you shoot him? This was supposed to be a demonstration. Oops. How careless of me. Don't you know you're just a liability? I'll show you how a real man does it. Those particular guards should be gone for good. Should you wish to return to Delta's home, I'll fetch you that extra food you worked yesterday for. Unless there's anything else you wish to know? No. I feel as though I know so much already. I appreciate you for trusting me with your life story and just your past, I guess. I know I already said that, but I know what it means to explain such things. I especially appreciate you, Delta, for telling me when you didn't have to. I'm the one who let my own secret out. I kind of had no choice but to explain. Well, it's like you said, you could have run. You could have just left me, but you didn't. You know, I already explained why. It's not that deep. Well, may I be so bold as to say, I think a part of you actually likes having me around. I mean, I still don't appreciate some of the remarks you gave me when I first met you, but maybe we really can get along. Just because I said that I don't mind so much that you're around doesn't mean that we're super close now. Besides, since when did you become the bold one? I don't know. There's just something about you that both sometimes makes me nervous and also makes me feel more sure of myself and my capabilities as a person. You're complex and I admire that about you. God, you're sappy. Let's just go get the basket for the food and we'll be out of your hair. Yeah, sure. We should go. Delta, yeah. Just because it scares you doesn't mean it isn't worth it. Not everyone you meet is going to be like your father. I don't know what you mean. Poor girl. Oh, Rio. I want you to keep my necklace. It truly does look beautiful on you. And well, you know, with my fluffy mane nowadays, it would never work on me as it once did. Are you sure? I really doubt that you wouldn't look just as beautiful. Age doesn't determine beauty. No, I insist it's a far better color on you anyways. I had my time in the sun long ago. Now it's your turn. Thank you kindly. I'll never forget this. It's my pleasure. Please wear it proudly. I see she let you keep the necklace. I'm not surprised. Yeah, she's been most generous and kind this whole time. I may have found her only slightly harsher at first, but I can certainly understand why, especially now. Although she framed it as not wanting to house sloppy workers in her kitchen, I know she was really just looking out for you and wanted to make sure you were safe with me. She truly is a mother, and I'm glad you have her. Yeah, she's wonderful. Can I ask you something? I mean, I feel it's only fair given how much knowledge you know about me now. Yeah, of course. What are your parents like? My parents? Oh gosh. I'd say they're the best family I've ever known. I mean, I guess I was luckier than you in that respect. Back home, my mother was always looking out for my safety, as Molly does for you. We'd spend hours out in the protected gardens, making bouquets for every room in the palace. Despite the moon's harsh, white-looking exterior, we actually have over time adapted to grow certain native plants and flowers in our growing patches of moon soil. Nothing quite like what you have on Earth. It's not like we have grass or anything, but we can support at least some vegetation. And as for my father, of course he was always cautious of my safety as well, but he would tell me stories at night of how he met my mother, or his victorious battles against the other clans of the moon. Or even sometimes he would make up these fairy tale stories to tell me if I had trouble sleeping. Life was so much more peaceful then. Gosh, there's a lot I could say, really, but I won't bore you with endless details. They sound perfect. Oh, God, you must think that I'm bragging compared to your life. I'm sorry. No, I don't. Besides, I wouldn't have asked if I didn't want to know. Here, I've got something I want you to try. I think you'll like it. I'd been saving it for a special occasion, but I guess I'm starting to think maybe sharing it with somebody else is better than sharing it alone. Don't worry, it's not that old. I've only had it, well, I got it a day before I ran into you, so I swear it's not stale. Thank you. It's called pumpkin pie, right? Yeah. It's most often prepared in autumn, but Molly sometimes makes it in the spring. Hence how I got this piece. Well, it looks wonderful. I've never had this before, actually. I just heard someone talking about it once. You've got a little something on your face. Oh? It must be the extra filling inside. Is it on my cheek? I can't really tell. Yeah, if you just... It's like right over, right there. Oh, the right side? Okay, let me... No, the other side. Here, just let me... There, you go. Did you get it? Yeah, it's... I did. Are you sure?